On the block, Julia and Sasha get some very raw feedback from the judges and leave the block fuming. Courtesy 9 Network. But it was the opposite story for Julia and Sasha, who had a meltdown, slammed the judges and threatened to quit the Channel 9 renovation show. Andy and Ben, from Geelong, had a runaway win with their second guest bedroom, with added ensuite, and now have the only apartment with 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. That had Palmer predicting a big result for apartment 3 come sale time. I think they're, Andy and Ben, winning the real estate game. Palmer said, they're going to have the best real estate board out the front of this building when they're finished. They're going to have people lining up on auction day. Andy and Ben scored a perfect 30 to romp home from Karlie and Will, 26.5. Dan and Carleen, 26. Kim and Chris, 24.5. With Julia and Sasha last on 24. Julia and Sasha didn't respond well to their low score, and Whittaker saying that stylist Julia was being beaten at her own game by some of the other teams. The pair launched a stinging attack on the judges and threatened to walk. Karlie and Will, who have labeled their style in deco, a mix of industrial and art deco, were first to be marked. The judges immediately praised the couple's planning, with a black and brass geometric bedhead hiding a large wardrobe. But Whittaker felt the room was overstyled with an unnecessary bunch of cushions, patterned rug, psychedelic artwork and see-through side tables. I feel there is such potential drama with this room, which comes from the incredibly high ceilings, the raw brick and this bedhead. And they should have left it at that. Quote, Whittaker said. Dan and Carleen were next, and Blaze said, what an improvement on their last bedroom. Palmer loved the choice of cornice and color palette of white walls and dived gray furnishings. Whittaker thought the mint green padded bedhead was a bold move that paid off. That is a color that could have gone horribly wrong. Quote, Whittaker said. But Blaze pointed out a mistake. The king bedhead wasn't right for a queen bed. It needs to hug the sides, Blaze said. And the overhead pendant lights were deemed a poor choice. I still don't think they're delivering these bedrooms to the standard of their bathrooms. Quote, Whittaker said. Andy and Ben admitted they spent a packet on their second guest bedroom and ensuite, but the gamble paid off. Go boys, Blaze said as she took in the surprise ensuite. They knocked this out of the ballpark. Palmer said. They have really raised their game. Quote, Whittaker added. The bedroom, with a huge historic feature wallpaper element, also delivered. The wardrobe was fully spec'd out. Julia and Sasha had been criticized in the past for a soulless bedroom, and so decided to warm things up with a rose gold 4-poster bed. This is better, but it's not 100% there. Quote, Whittaker said. It is still lacking something. I'm not connecting with it. Quote, Sasha thought that Whittaker's comment was outrageous. Blaze added fuel to the fire by saying that Julia's styling was coming across too much like a magazine spread. Palmer went into bat for pair, saying their rooms have shown great consistency. It's the right balance and immensely saleable, he said. Whittaker thought the pendant lights were appalling, and that Julia and Sasha are playing it safe. When Blaze said this room also feels soulless and the styling uptight, Julia and Sasha cracked. This is ridiculous. Quote, Sasha said. That's just stupid. I know our room's not perfect, but you don't need to assassinate someone's career. Julia said. That's totally out of line, totally inappropriate. Sasha said. Kim and Chris were last to be judged, and the room was also criticized for lacking personality. But Palmer also noted that, from the buyer's perspective, it's friendly, it's nice, and it's broad enough to get a big chunk of the market interested. We know there'll be a buyer for us, Kim said. By show's end, all of the teams were having a crack at the judges, saying the scoring doesn't reflect The comments. They have no idea what they're talking about. Quote, Sasha said, "There's nothing constructive in what they said. I don't mind accepting negative feedback but not in the way they're delivering it. I'm going home," Julia said as the pair drove away from judging. "I'm effed at King Done." Dan and Carleen win their first room reveal, after being the last in the past two reveals. Courtesy Channel 9, The Block. News.com. Ours privacy policy includes important information about our collection, use and disclosure of your personal information, including to provide you with targeted content and advertising based on your online activities. It explains that if you do not provide us with information we have requested from you, we may not be able to provide you with the goods and services you require. It also explains how you can access or seek correction of your personal information, how you can complain about a breach of the Australian privacy principles and how we will deal with a complaint of that nature.